the night's basketball action at the Hilltop. Tonight, your Mount Carmel Lady Aces take on this Castle girls squad. They don't have a mascot that I saw, but the Lady Aces come into this one 0-0, as it's the first action we're going to see on the Hilltop tonight. This Castle team, though, is 3-3, as they've already played 6 games, played some tough competition, and they're a pretty good squad. And Max Gerlach here tonight with Ethan Houston. Ethan, are you ready for some basketball?
I am. It looks like we might have a good game in store for us, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Yeah, it looks like a really good game. And speaking of good games, I actually got to talk to the Mount Carmel Lady Aces head coach, Matt McCarty, before the game as a part of the coaches pregame show sponsored by Glenn's Auto Service and Towing. That's located on Wabash 10th Avenue in Route 1 South. The next time you need a tow, call 618-263-3285. And here's that interview. Hello, Max Gerlach here with the Coaches Pregame Show, sponsored by Glenn's Auto Service and Towing, located on Wabash 10th Avenue in Route 1 South. The next time you need a tow, call 618-263-3285. I'm here with Coach McCarty before the first girls basketball game of the year for the Aces. Had a lot of success last year. You and me talked a little bit last night. How are you planning to build on that success?
Last year was a great season, but this is a new season. So we've had all this time to kind of be really proud of what we did, because it was a huge accomplishment. But now it's time to start building new goals and trying to do even better than what we did last year.
And last night we talked a little bit about how you had a tough schedule to start the year this year, how you kind of wanted to load it up early and get your girls ready. Is that going to be something tonight, this Castle team? What should we expect?
Yeah, they're really good. They're 3-3, so they've already got 6 games under their belt compared to our first game. But they've played some really tough competition as well. Their record doesn't indicate how good they actually are. They've got some long athletic wings. They're going to look to press us a little bit, try to trap us, turn us over. They got a girl that I don't know when she committed, but has committed to North Alabama to go play basketball next year. They've got some players over there, so it's definitely going to be a tough one.
And we talked about all the returners. You lost Maddie Stevens last year, but you also had a girl move in from Robinson, as I've been informed. And how's she going to help this squad tonight?
Oh, huge. She's a big, strong girl, only a sophomore, so there's a lot of growing still to do. But, she was first team All-LIC as a freshman last year. She's going to come in and help us out scoring right away. She's going to help us on the boards. And her game is just going to continue to grow the more she gets comfortable playing with us here.
All right. Good luck tonight, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
That was Coach Matt McCarty with some great words as usual. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break. And from the Wabash General Hospital broadcasting booth, this is Mount Carmel basketball.
At Wabash General Hospital, we're more than healthcare. We are part of the team. Our athletic trainers proudly serve 13 area high schools and 3 junior colleges, standing on the sidelines and in the AT rooms every day. From keeping our athletes healthy to helping them chase their dreams, we're here for every student athlete, every game, every step of the way, from injury to return to play. At Wabash General Hospital, caring for athletes is our game.
At First National Bank of Allendale, we know that winning starts with the right support on and off the playing field. That's why our local lenders make tailored, local decisions so you can score big on your goals. With branches across your community, we're here to help with everything from home loans to business growth. Because when it comes to your future, local lending is a true team effort. First National Bank of Allendale. Local lenders, local decisions.
I, Ebenezer Scrooge, can't say bah humbug to a Christmas carol. Please, come and see it yourself.
Wabash Valley College and the Wabash Valley Arts Council present A Christmas Carol, a community theater production, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, November 20th, 21st, and 23rd in the Brubeck Arts Center. Call for tickets at 618-263-5164 or scan the code on your screen.
Prices are falling at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get up to $9,400 off a new Jeep Wrangler or a Ram 1500 with 0% financing and no pay for 90 days. Come in today or go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com. Your best deals are at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a Pacifica with $6,200 off MSRP or lease a Durango for $474 a month. See them for details and go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
With the Coach's pregame show, sponsored by Glenn's Auto Service and Towing, located on Wabash 10th Avenue and Route 1 South. The next time you need a tow, call 618-263-3285. Once again, we said how great this Aces team was going to be coming into the year. Got third place in state last year. We got to cover that run for them. And Ethan, I'll tell you this, they didn't get to lose a lot. As you didn't get to watch them near as much as I did. They returned sophomore guard Riley Hershey. She's now a junior now. She's a junior now. She's grown a little bit. She's a better ball handler than she was. Tinsley Dunlap was a move-in from Robinson. She is a great shooter. When she played us here, she had, I think, 12 points for the Maroons, and she did a great job, shot the ball very consistently. Madeline Mann was the do-it-all guard that started for the Aces last year. She defended the best ball handler for the other squad a lot, and she did a really good job just handling the ball, being smart with it, and not turning it over. Then Evie Sellers is the shooter. She sits in the corner. She's can very consistently shoot, I'd say 3 for 5. We could see her do that multiple times this year. Then it's down low, Macy Randall. She's stands about 6'3". She wears number 30 for the Aces, and Macy Randall is a force down low. She's going to post you up. She's going to score a lot on you, and she's going to be somebody that it's hard for this Castle team to stop. But this Castle team seems to be a very athletic, quick team that's going to press them up and down the floor and make it hard for the Aces to bring the ball up the floor. Ethan, coming into this game, though, the success that the Aces had prior, there's a little bit of a target on their back, and how do you expect them to respond to that pressure?
Well, since a lot of them are coming back, I hope that they keep working together like they did and they can build off last year. So I would say that's advantage for them is that they've already played together, and yeah, they're getting a new face, that girl from Robinson, like you said, but it sounds like she's a good ball player and she's going to fit in well with this team, so it's going to be fun to watch tonight.
Yeah, and something I should have mentioned is who they lost was Maddie Stevens. She was a powerhouse for the Aces. She did such a good job just doing everything. She was either going to score 10 points or 20 points. She could sometimes get 10 boards for the Aces. She was just a very consistent player. I think she is second all-time in the rebounds. But this is just such a tough Aces squad, and something I talked to Coach McCarty last night. I talked to him again tonight, and something that he said both times was just how far ahead they are this year from last year, he feels. Didn't have to do much, I guess you can say, putting back in plays. They all just remembered them from last year. They were all good enough players that they knew what the plays were, they knew how to run them, and they knew how to execute them very well. And this Castle team, they're going to come in 3-3, already played 6 games, played a lot of those bigger Indiana schools. How do you think this is going to affect the Aces, as this is going to be their first action, and this Castle team is very experienced? What do you expect to see from an experienced squad versus a team that's really just getting their first looks?
So I heard the conversation you had with the Mount Carmel girls coach, and he said that this team that they're playing is very fast. So I'm expecting them to come out fast and fast-paced, and the Aces are going to have to keep up because they know it's their first game, so they're going to go at them, I would say.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it's going to be fast-paced. Something the Aces got to do to combat that pace is once you get it up across the timeline, you've got to take your time and really work through your sets, run some sort of motion offense that's going to get your best players looks, and that is Riley Hershey, Macy Randall, and from what I've heard, Tinsley Dunlap. And you got to have situations where your shooters can shoot. I've seen Evie Sellers as she was warming up. She's made multiple threes already in warm-ups just for the Aces. So this is going to be a really great game. We're going to be back in 2 minutes to finish up the Coach's pregame show, sponsored by Glenn's Auto Service and Towing, located on Wabash 10th Avenue and Route 1 South. The next time you need a tow, call 618-263-3285 with the starting lineups, sponsored by Sports Booters H.D. White and his wife Helen. So we'll be back in a second.
811, if you're not familiar with that, it's a Julie program in the state of Illinois. It's actually nationwide, but that's a free service. The utilities take care of that. Customer wanting to dig or plant flowers or fence post or something like that, call that service, give us 2 business days, that's the law, 2 business days notice. We'll come out and we'll locate all the underground utilities in your area and make sure that you know where you're able to dig and you can dig safely, and we're protected and you're protected that way.
It's Christmas Uptown in Mount Carmel, Illinois on Friday, December 5th from 4 to 9 p.m. See Comet, a real live reindeer. Enjoy carriage, train, and Rudolph rides, or take the City Lights trolley tour. Visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus. All attractions are free. A dozen food trucks and over 30 vendors on the street. Visit us on Facebook or download the Christmas Uptown app at christmasuptown.com.
I chose Wabash Valley College because I didn't really know what I wanted to do right after high school, and today I can say it was the best decision that I could have made. When I was here, I had the chance to join different clubs and to take a couple different classes, and I really expanded on my interests. In my classes, I learned what I liked and I learned what I didn't like. So I did get to meet new friends. I joined a bunch of clubs, practiced some leadership skills, and kind of gradually grew into adulthood here, and so I'm very grateful for that. My name is Jonathan Leach. I graduated in 2013 from Wabash Valley College, and that's why this was the best decision for me.
At Wabash General Hospital, we're more than healthcare. We are part of the team. Our athletic trainers proudly serve 13 area high schools and 3 junior colleges, standing on the sidelines and in the AT rooms every day. From keeping our athletes healthy to helping them chase their dreams, we're here for every student athlete, every game, every step of the way, from injury to return to play. At Wabash General Hospital, caring for athletes is our game.
At First National Bank of Allendale, we know that winning starts with the right support on and off the playing field. That's why our local lenders make tailored, local decisions so you can score big on your goals. With branches across your community, we're here to help with everything from home loans to business growth. Because when it comes to your future, local lending is a true team effort. First National Bank of Allendale, local lenders, local decisions.
I, Ebenezer Scrooge, can't say bah humbug to a Christmas carol. Please, come and see it yourself.
Wabash Valley College and the Wabash Valley Arts Council present A Christmas Carol, a community theater production, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, November 20th, 21st, and 23rd in the Brubeck Arts Center. Call for tickets at 618-263-5164 or scan the code on your screen.
Prices are falling at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get up to $9,400 off a new Jeep Wrangler or a Ram 1500 with 0% financing and no pay for 90 days. Come in today or go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com. Your best deals are at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a Pacifica with $6,200 off MSRP or lease a Durango for $474 a month. See them for details and go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
One of the things we want all of our customers to make sure of is that if you do install a generator, make sure that you have a properly functioning transfer switch. And a transfer switch will make sure that the generator is disconnected from utility service, and that protects your equipment and it also protects all of our crews working on the line. If a generator is not hooked up correctly, it can send power back through that transformer, and then it can be high voltage in a dangerous situation.
with starting lineups. We missed the Castle, but these are sponsored. These are in memory of co-founder of Mount Carmel Sports Boosters, H.D. White, and his wife, Helen. We're going to start out with the Aces starting lineup. We're going to start out with the do-it-all guard, Riley Hershey. Really great passer, really great facilitator. Going to expect big things out of her this year. Sophomore Tinsley Dunlap, first team all-conference as a freshman last year. She's going to try to do big things for the Aces. Then senior number 12, that's Madeline Mann. Madeline Mann is the defender. She's going to do everything on the floor for the Aces. She's going to grind out there. Then junior number 31, Evie Sellers. She's the shooter of this squad. She's going to knock down some threes for the Aces. Then the lady down low, that's going to be number 30, Macy Randall. Now, starting for Castle, it's going to start out with number 3, Lenny Linnock, then number 10, Peyton Mitchell, then 11, Jaden Scott, number 14, Jordan Holhuse, and then number 22, Isabel Gavante. That's going to be the starting lineups for each squad, and I think it's about time for some basketball, Ethan.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Looks like it's going to be Macy Randall, and I think that looks like number 14, Jordan Holhuse, in the circle getting ready to jump. We're getting ready. The fan section's loud. The fans are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the start of Aces basketball season. Randall tips it to Hershey. Hershey on the right side. Aces going from left to right. Over to Dunlap. Dunlap to the wing to Sellers. Sellers down to Randall. One dribble. Loses it. Picks it back up. Puts it up. She may be fouled. Misses. Dunlap gets the rebound. Misses the putback. Rebound. Castle. Castle's going to push it up the right side. Skips it up. That's going to go out of bounds. Aces ball. First turnover of the game for Castle.
Yeah, it looks like what we pointed out when the Castle girls get the ball, they're going to push up the court and play fast pace for these Aces since it's the first game. So the Aces are going to have to match that and control the pace when they get the ball.
And when you do push up the floor like that, that's just going to be so tough, especially when you're trying to push, be quick. You can't do too much or you're going to turn it over.
Yep.
Looks like this Castle team in a 1-2-2 press. Hershey on the right side. Over to Dunlap. Dunlap down to Sellers. Sellers to the paint to Randall. Randall gets it poked away. That's going to be out of bounds on the Aces. Going to be Castle ball.
They're playing her tough down there. Every time she gets it, there's at least 2 girls running right at her.
Looks about Isabel Gavante's inbounder. She's going to inbound it to number 10, Peyton Mitchell. Mitchell up the right side. She's going to be met by Hershey. Gets it over to Polis. Polis over to Scott. Scott swings it over to number 3. That's Clinic. Clinic over to Scott. Scott to Gavante. Gavante back over to Mitchell. Mitchell to Gavante. Gavante down to Clinic. They're going to work it around on the Aces. That's going to be tipped, almost picked off by the Aces. That's now Scott on the drive. She's going to try to work around Dunlap and draws the blocking foul. That's going to be the first foul on the Aces and first foul on Dunlap. Aces to inbound, or sorry, Castle to inbound. It's going to be Peyton Mitchell inbounding the ball for this Castle squad. I'm pretty sure they're the Knights, but I don't want to get it wrong. It does. It says on the scoreboard, so Castle Knights. Scott looking for somebody, gets it, Mitchell gets it to Scott. Scott back over to Mitchell. Mitchell shot fake, tries to drive, Randall stops her. Skips it across the court to Clinic. Clinic shot fake, she's going to travel. That's going to be the second turnover of the game. Aces and Knights trading turnovers as we get a minute into this game. 6:51 left on the scoreboard. Hershey brings it up the right side. She's going to be met by the press. Tries to get it up. Throws it deep to Randall. Randall, one dribble, knocked out of bounds. When you're that tall, you got to be careful to not put it on the floor. She was a ways out, but she's got to keep it high. She's got to keep it close to the rim because that's where she's going to flourish, Ethan.
She needs to get lower as well. She's staying too straight up, and these girls are just hacking at her.
Hershey to inbound it. Hershey gets it down to Dunlap. Dunlap puts it up and in for the first 2 points of the Aces season. Aces lead 2-0.
What is this offense you think that Castle's running? They're running a 2 guard up top, and they're having a center come up and screening.
Mitchell over to Clinic. Clinic did get it back there to Polis. She gets it down to Scott. Scott, 2 dribbles, pulls up from mid-range. That's off. Randall with the rebound. Randall looking to push. Over to Hershey. Hershey up the right side. She's going to be met by Mitchell. Mitchell, Hershey, fancy footwork, puts up the mid-range. That's off. Randall with the rebound. Up, misses that one. That's going to be rebound Clinic. Clinic up the left side. She's looking up the floor. Tries to get one down, almost loses her dribble. Then Mitchell for 3. That's off. Randall with another rebound out to Hershey. That's going to be thrown away. That's going to be the second turnover for the Aces. Mitchell brings it up the middle of the floor. Mitchell's going to zip it over to Clinic. Clinic down to Gavante. Gavante up to Polis. She's going to let a 3 fly. That's off. Rebound. That's going to be off the Knights. That's going to be Aces ball. Not much scoring here in these first 2.5 minutes, but it's still some fun basketball, Ethan.
Yeah, I think the Aces need to slow down a little bit when they're on offense.
Hershey up the right side. Once again, they're going to send this little trap at her. She needs to get it out quick. Over to Dunlap. Dunlap up to Sellers. Sellers tries to get it down to Randall. Randall almost loses it. Going to skip it across the court to Mann. Mann looking for somebody. She gets it down to Dunlap. She's fouled. She's going to be shooting 2. Tinley Dunlap immediately making an impact here for the Aces in her first game as a Lady Ace.
That student section is fired up tonight for the first Lady Aces game of the year.
Well, when you're expecting so much out of a team, how aren't you fired up? I'm fired up, Ethan.
I'm fired up. This is great so far.
She misses the first one. That's just going to be off the left side. It looks like they're going to swap Sellers and Mann down there in the rebounding spot. Dunlap setting up for the second one. It's up and off. That's going to be rebound Knights. Gets it up to Scott. Scott's going to chuck a deep one down. Oh, sorry, Mitchell down to Scott. That's going to be a drive. Kicked back out. Number 11, Scott has it. She's going to try to drive. Man on her. She stops. Gets blocked by Sellers. Hershey trying to push. Slows it down. Going to speed it back up. Take it down the right side. Crosses back. Spin. Getting trapped. Gets it to Mann. Randall ends up getting it. She takes a dribble. Throws it over to Dunlap. Dunlap, one dribble. Goes up strong. Misses that one. We're going to call over the back on Macy Randall for her first foul of the game. Down in the backcourt, that's going to be Gramonte. And I think I just can't spell my remote handwriting. I'm pretty sure that's been Grant the whole time. So we're just going to go with Grant and Mitchell back there. Grant's going to inbound it to Mitchell. Subbing in for the Aces, though, is going to be number 1, Olivia Peach. She was a strong shooter for the Aces last year. She's going to get her first action of the game. Going to be Clinic on the right side. Over to Scott. Scott looking, has Dunlap on her. Swings it over to Grant. Grant over to Mitchell. Mitchell dribbling. Gets it down to Polis. She's going to travel for another turnover on the Knights. Knights and Aces both have the same amount of turnovers and points. Or I should say the Knights have more turnovers than points. They throw it into Hershey. It looks like the Knights have taken off the press.
There we go. I like this. Calming it down.
Hershey's going to be met by Mitchell. She gets it down to Mann. Mann guarded close. Up to Dunlap. Dunlap over to Peach. Peach over to Hershey. Hershey looking, gets it back to Peach at the top of the key. She throws the entry pass to Randall. That's a little long for another Aces turnover. Now inbounding is going to be Grant up to Mitchell. Mitchell seems to be the primary ball handler for this Castle squad. Mitchell bringing up the middle of the floor. She's to be met by Hershey. Knights in a box set. They throw the lob down to Mitchell. She's going to go up. She doesn't hit anything there. Mann gets it. Goes up to Hershey. Hershey going to try to push. She's going to be met by Scott. Can't get a look. She's trapped now in the corner. Throws up to Mann. Mann gets a hand on it, and that's going to be out of bounds. Castle ball. Well, story of the first quarter has been turnovers. And subbing in looks like it's going to be number 5, Zoe Randall. Zoe Randall, sister of Macy Randall. And Mitchell's bringing up the middle of the floor. She's gonna be met by Hershey. She gets it over to Polis. Polis over to Scott. She's looking. She's gonna let one fly. That misses off the rim. Dunlap gets the rebound. She's gonna push it up the floor herself. She's gonna bring it up. Met by Scott. She's gonna take it all the way and run. Tinsley Dunlap.
Great take by her there. Way to get aggressive.
Dunlap going to be at the line again. She missed the first two, looking to make up for that one. And now subbing into the game is going to be number 21, Alyssa Young for the Knights. Dunlap, even though she missed the first two, very solid shooter, Ethan. And that one rolls around and falls. That's going to make it 5 points for Dunlap, 5 points for the Aces. That's going to be a Young into Mitchell. Mitchell's going to bring it up the middle of the floor. She's once again met by Hershey. They're trying to get somebody the ball, throws it over to Grant. Grant dribbles in, can't go anywhere, gets it over to Mitchell. Nobody on Grant. She's going to let a three fly. That almost banks in. Rebound down for Polis. Back out to Mitchell. Mitchell air balls, and that is going to be Ace's ball. Looks like Zoe Randall's off the floor. We're going to get another, Macy Randall's off the floor. We have another substitution, a number 23, Stella Woodcock. She was another freshman that played some valuable minutes for the Aces last year. Mann's going to bring it up the floor. Mann over to Woodcock. She gets it back to Mann. They're going to call a travel on Madeline Mann. Well, story of the game, Ethan. Once again, I think we can't stop talking about it. It's just turnovers.
The Aces defense is just giving the Castle girls all sorts of problems. This is great defense.
Mitchell at the middle of the floor. She throws it right up to Grant. She's going to let a three fly, and that's going to be the first points for the Castle Knights tonight. They're going to bring up the press. Scott on the top. Hershey brings it up. She's met by a trap. Tries to throw it over to Mann. Mitchell ends up getting it. That's going to be traded turnovers. She gets it down to Peach. Peach back to Hershey in the corner. Hershey tries to throw it to Peach after the trap. She takes a dribble, puts up a layup. That's going to be no good. Ball's bouncing around. Mann finally grabs it. That's going to be a jump ball. That's going to be Knights ball here with 2:32 left in the game.
The Aces coach was yelling for a timeout, but it looks like they're giving them the timeout.
And they're giving him a Country Financial agent Tia Morgan timeout. We're going to be back from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
My name is Alexis Johnson. I'm from Brookston, Indiana, and I'm in the physical therapy assistant program at Wabash Valley College. Some of the hands-on activities we have in the physical therapy assistant program is we work on each other, getting that practice in the school setting, and then we also go to clinicals. We go out and work on actual patients with actual employees and just getting hands-on with your patients. After graduating, I plan on going back to my community, working in a hospital setting, maybe a nursing home, and just helping those people around me.
Back with some Aces basketball. Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 5-3 Aces in front with 2:32 left. Aces just turned that one, never mind. Sorry, I forget. They got the timeout in time before the jump ball, and it's going to be Aces ball on the sideline. Woodcock is going to be the player to trigger it in. She's going to be looking for anybody. Gets into Hershey. Hershey dribbling down the sideline, pulls it back. She's going to turn that one over to Scott. Scott's going to get another steal. She throws it over to Pullis. Pullis bringing up the court. She's going to take a strong drive to the rim. Can't get that one to fall. Woodcock with the rebound. Woodcock throws it to Hershey. Hershey grabs it, throws it back up to Woodcock. Woodcock stop. Pops a mid-range jumper. That's in and out. Rebound down Young, and Riley Hershey to pick up her first foul. That's going to be Hershey's first foul and the Aces' third. Back in the game is going to be Evie Sellers and Macy Randall. To trigger it in, that's going to be Alyssa Young. She gets it into Mitchell. Mitchell bringing it up the floor. Back over to Young. Young guarded by Sellers. Looking for somebody. Gets it back over to Grant. Grant down to Mitchell. Mitchell looked for somebody, gets it over to Scott. Scott on the right wing. Guarded hard by Peach. Gets a screen, good shot fake, takes it to the rim. She's going to dribble out of bounds. That's going to be Ace's ball for another Castle Knights turnover.
Great defense.
Aces really are playing some phenomenal defense right now. Hershey's going to bring it up the left side this time. Going to bring it up, met by a trap, gets it over to Sellers. Sellers on the right side, met by another trap. She's going to lose it. That's going to be out of bounds. Knights ball. Aces have got to slow it down against the press and try to get some action back towards the middle. Mitchell to bring it up the middle of the floor. She's going to be met by Hershey. Gets it over to Grant. Grant takes another three. She's going to knock down her second three of the game. That's going to be 6-5. Knights lead. Over to Hershey from Randall. Hershey fakes the shot. Puts it behind her back. Gives it over to Peach. Peach over to Sellers. Sellers for three. Misses that one off back rim. Rebound Young. Young over to Mitchell. Mitchell dribbling down to Scott. Scott's going to take it strong to the rim. She misses that one. Rebound herself. She's looking to get it out to somebody. Back over to Polis. Polis is going to take another three. She misses that one off back iron. Rebound down. Zoe Randall. Never mind. Jump ball. That's going to be Knights basketball. Mitchell to trigger it in. Mitchell chucks it up to Scott. Scott, one dribble. Almost loses it. It's on the ground. She dives for it. Everybody's on the ground. Oh my gosh, Peach gets it to Hershey. Hershey dribbling up the right side. Puts it behind her back. Guarded by Paulette. She gets a screen from Sellers. Hershey clears it out. She's going to be met by pressure. Peach, look for somebody. Gets it to Hershey before the trap. Hershey down low. Puts up a floater. That one rolls in and out. That's going to be down to the Knights. Young has it. Back over to Paulette. Mitchell now on the right side. Looks to force it up the court. She's met by Hershey. Over to Young. Young on the left wing. Young down to Polish. She's going to try to drive on Randall. Randall does a good job defending, but gets a foul. That's now going to be the fourth Aces personal foul this first quarter. Never mind, that's a second one on Macy Randall, and I'm guessing that Evie Sellers doesn't have a foul. I misread it earlier. So that's now 2 on Macy Randall, and that's bad for the Aces. So we may not see her for the rest of the first half. Polis knocks down the first one.
Here she comes, coming out too.
This may be the end of Macy Randall's first half. I think that second one's one we would love to take back. Now it's going to be the second free throw of the fall. That's going to make it 7-8. Knights lead. Hershey's going to bring it up the right side. Over to Sellers. Sellers throws it up to Dunlap. Dunlap, 2 dribbles down the middle of the lane. Chucks it up. She misses. That's going to be up. Grant pushing up the middle of the floor. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell trying to drive. She gets it back to Young. It's batted. Hershey now has it. Hershey pushing up the floor. She's going to try to beat everybody down the floor. Goes to the rim. That's batted out from behind. 2 seconds left on the clock. What are the Aces going to do with it? And they're putting in Macy Randall. They're going to chuck this ball up where only she can catch it. And if she doesn't catch it, the quarter's over. Didn't get it in time, and I don't think we got the look we wanted. That's going to be the end of the first quarter as the Tim Phillips and Jade Investment scoreboard reads 8-5, Knights ahead. We'll be back in just a minute for some Lady Aces basketball. From the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth, this is Mount Carmel basketball.
Get your new Ford at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a new Ford F-150 up to $6,500 off MSRP. Or a Bronco for $499 for 36-month lease. Find your new vehicle at SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
Steve Faulkner Automotive in Mount Carmel, Illinois has an outstanding service department. With free pickup and delivery, we'll make sure your vehicle runs perfectly at an affordable price. Come see us today or view our service specials at SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
Hi, I'm Tony. I graduated Wabash Valley College at Mount Carmel, and it was the best decision ever. It gave me the opportunity to go on the air almost immediately. Within about a week of starting the broadcasting program at Wabash Valley College, I was a DJ on 89.1 WVJC, and that on-air experience was invaluable to my future career and hiring potential.
And we're back for some second quarter action as the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 8-5, Knights ahead. It's going to be Aces ball heading from left to right. Once again, this is Max Gerlach and Ethan Houston up here in the broadcast booth. Thank you to Emery for running our stream tonight and Bennett for running the camera for us. Looks like Seller's going to be the one to trigger it in. She throws it into Man. Man's going to be met by Grant. Grant is guarding her closely. Looks like they're in a 1-2-2 actually. Dunlap trying to dribble around the top. We need to get set and run something to combat the 1-2-2. I'm not sure if it's man-to-man actually, Ethan, but Hershey on the left side, over to Peach.
Running the zone, yep.
Peach back over to Hershey. Hershey for three. That's off. Dunlap's going to get the rebound. She is really making an impact. Peach with a three. She's going to make that one for the first Aces 3 of the year. That's going to make it 8-8. We're all tied up here in the second quarter. Young with the ball. Young over to Scott. Scott back over to Polis. Polis over to Grant. Grant down to Mitchell. Mitchell one dribble back over to Young. Young has the ball up to Scott. Scott dribbling, look for somebody. Polis has it. They're going to run people off of her. She gets it over to Young. Young looking for somebody. One dribble down to Polis. She's wide open. She's going to get her second basket of the game to make it 10-8. Knights lead. Hershey's going to bring it up the floor. Hershey looking for somebody, throws it up to Dunlap. Dunlap, one dribble, stops, pops for three. That one's short, rebound Scott. Scott bringing it up the right side. She's going to be met by Peach. Never mind, Madeline and Seller. She's going to take it all the way, throws it down to Polis. Polis putting up the layup, gets her own rebound. Aces have to foul to stop her from scoring the ball. Polis is now going to get 2 more looks at the free throw line. Once again, 10-8 Knights lead. Puts up the first. That one's nothing but nylon. Coming in, that's going to be Clinic for Mitchell. One dribble, puts up the free throw. That one's off the rim. Sellers with the rebound. Hershey bringing it up the floor. She's looking for anybody. She's going to take it to that elbow. They're going to call a travel. They're going to say she picked it up a little bit early. We're not going to argue from up here because we're not getting paid to official. That's going to be Mitchell bringing up the middle of the floor as Hershey's going to meet her once again. Over to Grant. Grant has it down to Polis. They're going to call a foul on Sellers as she got caught behind her. If you're doing anything in the post, Ethan, positioning is 90% of the battle.
Yeah.
Mitchell's now going to be the one to trigger it in for the Knights. She's looking for anybody. Has to just get it out to Grant. Grant has it on the left wing. Couple dribbles, looking for somebody. Down to Mitchell in the corner. Mitchell in the corner. Swinging it around. Up to Clinic. She misses. Rebound Dunlap. Dunlap once again just making an impact. Skips it up to Sellers. Sellers, one dribble, 2 dribbles. They're going to call a charge. They just called a charge on Evie. Sellers. That's going to be another Aces turnover.
Fans are not happy with that one, and I don't blame them.
Once again, we're not here to officiate. We're here to announce the game. So I'm going to try to say as non-biased as possible. Just watch the game and announce with you. Scott's going to bring it. Mitchell brings it up the middle of the floor. Mitchell once again met by Hershey. Evie Knapp in the game now. She's guarding Clinic. They throw it down to Scott. Scott puts up the jumper. She can't get that to fall. Man grabs it. 1 dribble, 2 dribbles. She's now trapped. Ball's on the floor. Now it's going to be Castle ball. Aces now have 10 turnovers. Mitchell's going to travel. They are calling every travel tonight.
Even in the JV game, they was as well.
Well, something a lot of people do is they drop that back foot, Ethan, and they're going to make sure you don't do that early in the year.
Yes, they are.
Hershey bringing up the right side. She's going to be met with a trap. Looking for somebody, clears it out to Man. Man around the middle of the floor. Gets it up to Hershey. Hershey looking for somebody, anybody. Gets it over to Man. Man to Peach. Peach going to let that thing fly. Misses that one off the front of the rim. They're going to call another foul on Tinsley Dunlap. That's going to be her second. That's going to be another ace with 2 fouls. Now checking in the game is going to be Zoe Randall, most likely going to get Tinsley Dunlap. Taking the ball out right now is Isabel Grant. She hit 2 threes in that first quarter to really keep Castle in the game. Mitchell bringing it up the floor. Mitchell over to Scott. Scott drives, stops, chucks up a jumper. That's not a good look. Rebound down to Clinic. They're going to call a foul on Madeline Mann. That's going to be her first, as the Aces have now reached, if my count is correct, 7 team fouls. Free throw up from Clinic. That one's off the side and rolls up over the top of the basket. Checking in now is Young for Scott. Clinic putting up the second one. That one's off too. Rebound down to Mann. Never mind. Up over to Hershey. Hershey's going to try to push up the floor. She's met by Mitchell. She drives. Nothing as she chucks that one up as she gets fouled. They're going to call jump ball. It's going to be Knight's ball.
Aces are struggling in the paint so far. If they get that figured out, they're going to start getting their offense rolling.
People don't realize just how much of an impact Macy Randall makes. Mitchell's bringing it up the right side of the floor. Mitchell met by Hershey. Mitchell over to Clinic. Clinic swings it over to Grant. Grant back to Clinic. Clinic guarded by Knapp. Clinic over to Grant. Grant over to Young. Young to Mitchell in the corner. Mitchell brings it up back over to Clinic at the top of the key. Young over on the right wing. Young looking in the post. Looking in the post. Finally gets it down to Paulus. Swings it back out to Clinic. That's out of bounds. Aces ball.
Great defense.
That really was, Ethan, just a great defensive possession by the Aces.
Yes, it was.
As Coach Matt McCarty uses another Country Financial agent Tia Morgan timeout. Here we are from the Wabash General Hospital broadcasting booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball. We'll be back in just a second.
At Wabash General Hospital, we're more than healthcare. We are part of the team. Our athletic trainers proudly serve 13 area high schools and 3 junior colleges, standing on the sidelines and in the AT rooms every day. From keeping our athletes healthy to helping them chase their dreams, we're here for every student athlete, every game, every step of the way, from injury to return to play. At Wabash General Hospital, caring for athletes is our game.
Here we are once again. The Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 11-8 in favor of the Knights. The Aces having a hard time scoring the ball as they actually have 10 turnovers to 8 points. And that's not much better by the Castle Knights. They have 7 turnovers and have 11 points. So you got to think the place this game's going to be won is the turnover battle. Is I really think the Aces are winning on the rebound on the boards right now.
Yeah, I'd agree. They definitely need to stop stacking up on these fouls, though.
Yes, fouls is another thing I should have said, is they have 2 starters with 2 fouls. That's going to be Tinsley Dunlap, who has 5 of the Aces' 8 points, and Macy Randall, who it hurts to not have her on the floor. Knapp's now going to inbound it to Hershey to kick off this part of the second quarter with 4:36 left on the board. Hershey up the middle of the floor. She's going to be met by Mitchell. Hershey looking for somebody. They're going to say she dribbled out of bounds. That's another turnover.
Yeah, she just lost it, yeah.
It's just turnovers right now. Young to inbound it. That's going to be Grant over here. She's going to probably bring it up the right side of the floor.
Not having Randall, like you said, is definitely affecting them on the defensive side, not getting boards.
Grant bringing it up. She's guarded by Hershey. Skips it over to Clinic. Clinic looking for somebody. Tries to drive. Loses it. That's going to be Ace's ball.
We're seeing some physical defense tonight.
This is some very physical defense. Hershey to bring it up the floor. Hershey looking for somebody, anybody, over to Peach. Peach dribbling up. She throws it straight into Scott's hands. That's another turnover by the Aces. Grant has it back to Young. Young looking for somebody over to Scott. Scott's going to lose it. Never mind. That's still going to stay with the Knights as it's tipped out by Olivia Peach. Some really stellar defense by the Aces right now. Can't complain with that.
Yep.
Grant to bring it up. Grant guarded by Hershey. Grant over to Clinic. Clinic back to Grant. Grant to Scott. Scott has it. Guarded by Peach closely. Down to Polis. Going to get her on the back door. She's going to dribble in. Puts up the floater. Misses. Rebound down to Randall. Randall over to Hershey. I should say Zoe Randall, not just Randall. Hershey has it. Hershey's going to be guarded by Grant. Hershey dribbling. Hershey looking for a shot, gets in, step back over to Peach. Peach shot fake, one dribble back over to Peach. Sorry, Hershey. Hershey dribbling, puts up a three. Bang! Riley Hershey answers back with a three of her own. Not what I should have said there, but Riley Hershey finally gets one to fall. Hershey back on defense. Paulus gonna put it up. That's gonna be another foul on the Aces. All tied up here 11-11, but the fouls are not reading the same, as I think every Ace has a foul right now.
How many free throws do you think this girl at the line has so far?
Well, this will be her 5th free throw, and this will be her 2nd missed. She was 3 for 4 before that free throw. She goes now to 3 for 5. Puts up the second one. That one's going to rattle out. That's going to be Hershey to bring it up the right side. She's going to be met by Young. Never mind. She's going to pull it out and met by Grant. Looking for a screen from Mann. Pulls it out. Going to get the play from McCarty. Coach McCarty calls the play. Screen Randall. Hershey going to beat the hedger to the spot. Puts up a step back mid-range. Bang! Nothing but Rylon from Riley Hershey as she's starting to catch fire for the Aces.
What a shot.
Mitchell going to bring it up. Mitchell back over to Young. Young met by Randall. Back to Grant. Grant in the corner. She's hit 2 threes. Scott, one dribble. Loses it. I think Scott just got hurt, and that's going to be a timeout by the Castle head coach. That did not look good the way she slipped.
No. She looks okay.
They didn't give the Castle coach a timeout. And the officials are pointing it's Mount Carmel basketball.
I think she lost possession, so they didn't grant them the timeout.
No, she still had the ball. We just had, there were multiple people there grabbing at it. They just didn't get the coach the timeout in time. Up to Peach. Peach back to Hershey. Hershey trapped now. She's going to try to dribble on Mann. Hershey driving through the trap. That's going to be poked away from her. They're going to call a foul on Madeline Mann. Fouls and turnovers are the story of the game. Aces now have 4 players with 2 fouls.
This is not ideal for the Aces.
Not ideal at all, Ethan. That's going to be bonus as Polis is going to be the one shooting 2 for this squad. Makes the first one. She now gets to 4 for 7 on the day. Makes the second one. It's now all tied up at 13 apiece. Hershey to bring it up the right side, left side. She's met by Mitchell. Screen from Randall. She's going to try to get downhill. Randall's the roller. Throws it up. Randall misses that one. Rebound down to Scott. Scott gets it out to Polis. Polis going to push it up the floor. Looking for somebody met by Knapp. Gets it over to Scott. She's guarded by Peach closely. Knapp hedges hard. Good drop by Randall. They're going to call a travel. That was beautiful defense by the Aces. They helped in the right spots. They guarded the pick and roll perfectly. Coach McCarty couldn't have taught that any better.
It's been almost that the whole night, the story all night, their defense.
Hershey going to bring it up. 2 minutes now left on the scoreboard. She's going to get that screen from Randall. Denies it. She's going to be guarded by Mitchell. Back up by Grant. Going to try to look for somebody. Over to Peach. Peach now guarded by Young. Hand off to Hershey. Hershey shot fake. Puts up to mid-range. Bang. Hershey now has 7 all in this second quarter as she has willed the Aces back to make it 15-13. Polis throws it away to Peach. Peach over to Hershey. Hershey going to push. Hershey back over on the left side. She got everybody running around her. Mitchell guarding her. Screen from Mann. She's going to be, oh my gosh, they called an illegal screen on Madeline Mann. They called an illegal screen on Madeline Mann to make that her third personal foul. Going to be Castle Knights ball. That's going to be a Tim Phillips, a Jaden Investment, a Country Financial Tia Morgan timeout called by the Castle Knights coach. Now, from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth, this is Mount Carmel basketball.
At First National Bank of Allendale, we know that winning starts with the right support on and off the playing field. That's why our local lenders make tailored, local decisions so you can score big on your goals. With branches across your community, we're here to help with everything from home loans to business growth. Because when it comes to your future, local lending is a true team effort. First National Bank of Allendale, local lenders, local decisions.
From that Country Financial agent, Tia Morgan timeout. The Tim Phillips and Jade Investment scoreboard reads 15-13 in favor of your Lady Aces. We got just under a minute and a half left here in the second quarter, getting ready to end this first half. Ethan, I'll go through a little bit of scoring for each squad as there's only been 2 scores for this Castle squad. Jordan Polis, she has 7 points. She's cashed in 5 of those from the free throw line. Then Isabel Grant has 6 points. She knocked in 2 threes in the first half. Then this second quarter has been all Riley Hershey. She scored 7 straight for the Aces to get them to 15. Now Mitchell Brown on the left side, over to Young. Young guarded by Woodcock, down to Grant. Grant guarded by Knapp. Polis over to Scott. Scott guarded by Peach closely. Scott's been held scoreless. Mitchell back over to Young. Young looking for somebody over to Grant on the right wing. Grant down to Mitchell. She tries to force it to Polis. That's going to be out of bounds. Knights ball, last touch by Zoe Randall. Mitchell to trigger it in, looking for the play from her coach. Trying to get to Scott. They're going to guard this inbound really well with that 2-3 up to Grant. Grant guarded by Knapp. Knapp looking for somebody over to Young. Young over to Mitchell. Mitchell guarded by Hershey. Mitchell over to Grant. She's going to drive. She's going to get her first she's going to get to 8 on the night. That's going to make it 15-15. Hershey has it. 45 seconds left now. Gets a screen from Randall. Randall falls to the floor. Peach, one dribble into a 3. Bang! Olivia Peach is a pure shooter. Now bring it up. Scott guarded by Peach. Scott looking for something. Scott back over to Mitchell. Mitchell skips it to Young. Young, shot fake. Met by Woodcock. Back up to Grant. We got to stop her. Grant drives. Back out to Mitchell. Mitchell puts up a 3. She misses. Rebound Scott. Scott pulls it back out with 14 seconds. She drives. She kicks out to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Grant. Grant wide open for 3. She's not going to miss that if you give her that much space. 18-18 now. Hershey with 5, 4, 3. She's going to put it up from the volleyball line. That's going to be off at the end of the first half. The Tim Phillips and Jade Investment scoreboard reads 18-18 here at the Hilltop. We'll be back from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
At First National Bank of Allendale, we know that winning starts with the right support on and off the playing field. That's why our local lenders make tailored, local decisions so you can score big on your goals. With branches across your community, we're here to help with everything from home loans to business growth. Because when it comes to your future, local lending is a true team effort. First National Bank of Allendale, local lenders, local decisions.
I, Ebenezer Scrooge, can't say bah humbug to a Christmas carol. Please, come and see it yourself.
Wabash Valley College and the Wabash Valley Arts Council present A Christmas Carol, a community theater production, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, November 20th, 21st, and 23rd in the Brubeck Arts Center. Call for tickets at 618-263-5164 or scan the code on your screen.
Prices are falling at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get up to $9,400 off a new Jeep Wrangler or a Ram 1500 with 0% financing and no pay for 90 days. Come in today or go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com. Your best deals are at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a Pacifica with $6,200 off MSRP or lease a Durango for $474 a month. See them for details and go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
811, if you're not familiar with that, it's a Julie program in the state of Illinois. It's actually nationwide, but that's a free service. The utilities take care of that. Customer wanting to dig or plant flowers or fence posts or something like that, call that service. Give us 2 business days. That's the law, 2 business days notice. We'll come out and we'll locate all the underground utilities in your area and make sure that you know where you're able to dig and you can dig safely, and we're protected and you're protected that way.
It's Christmas Uptown in Mount Carmel, Illinois on Friday, December 5th from 4 to 9 p.m. See Comet, a real live reindeer. Enjoy carriage, train, and Rudolph rides, or take the City Lights trolley tour. Visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus. All attractions are free. A dozen food trucks and over 30 vendors on the street. Visit us on Facebook or download the Christmas Uptown app at christmasuptown.com.
As a faculty member, Wabash Valley College was the best decision ever. I have always been excited to return back to Wabash Valley as an employee to inspire students the way I was inspired when I went to school here. And what I love is the sense of community that I have with my coworkers and being able to provide that to our students.
And here we are back for the Keepus Funeral Home halftime show. They're located on 1500 North Cherry Street. We'll say this, Ethan, it has not been a pretty first half. The Aces have 13 turnovers as Castle tries to match it with only 8. The scoreboard does read 18-18 heading into that second half, and I'm not sure if this is exactly how anybody wanted to start, especially with how many Aces are in foul trouble.
Yeah, honestly, if I'm the Aces coaches, I know you're struggling right now, but it's also you have a plus to look at. You're fouling so many times, and you're still in this game. You're still 18-18. They were getting good looks at the start of the first quarter when they had Hershey running up, and they were throwing it to the Randall girl down low, but she just wasn't. When she got it, they were all over. So if they can figure that out, they might get some more courts on and get their offense rolling.
Yeah, and they've got to get it to her closer to the rim, Ethan, where she can keep that ball high, doesn't have to put it on the ground, and pivot and work that ball where it's on the floor where the small, scrappy guards can get to it. She is such a tall athlete that she's going to have to keep it high. She's going to have to get it at the rim. Something that I'm going to say is the Aces have to figure out who they're going to stop. They can't just let both Jordan Polis and Isabel Grant run this score up. Grant has 11, and Polis tries to match her with 7 of her own. So that's 18 points between 2 players. Now, the Aces only have it between 3, but it's still not great either way.
Back on, you were talking about the Castle girls scoring. We need to give props to Olivia Peach, number 1. She's been doing great defense on number 11, Scott, on the Castle girls team. I mean, every time she gets the ball, she has a hand in her face right up on her, and that's just great defense.
Yeah, and it seems like they're trying to get Scott going. I think that she's going to be somebody in the second half that we've got to watch to see if she's going to start scoring the ball some more. But if Peach keeps guarding her the way she has in this first half, I wouldn't see her starting to get hot anytime soon. But I will talk about this, the fouling for the Aces, Ethan. You got Riley Hershey with 2. You got Tinsley Dunlap with 2. You've got Madeline Mann with 3. You have Macy Randall with 2 and Evie Sellers with 1 of her own. That is every Aces starter in foul trouble right now. That is the last thing that you want to see if you are an Aces fan.
Yeah, I would say for the coach, it's definitely putting him in a tough spot with all his starters in foul trouble. He's just got to keep mixing in people because he can't afford to lose these girls so early in the game.
Yes, and I talked to Coach McCarty. Sorry, he told me early in the year. He told me they're going to rotate a lot. They're going to work through a lot of people, and this is going to be a 9 to 10 girl rotation. But I didn't think he expected to have them on the floor so early with all the foul trouble. Ethan, I'll tell you this, there are 2 keys for the Aces to walk away from this one with a win. Do you want to hear either of them?
Oh, yeah.
One, you got to fix the turnover problem. They run this 1-2-2 press that is very, very solid. They're doing a great job of doing what I call a soft trap. They're not really up in your grill. They want you to throw that skip pass, make you feel like you broke it, and then they send a real trap. So they've got to throw that pass and immediately have cutters. If they're cutting, they're going to bring back. You got the 2 people up top, you got the 1 up top, you got the 2 wings. You're going to bring the wing to the middle, and you're going to have a skip pass every once in a while. That's going to help you break it quicker. You got Randall back. They've also got to just continue the defensive effort that they put out. They have played a great first half of defense, and if they continue that great defense, they're going to start working some stuff in on offense. They got Macy Randall coming back. They got Evie Sellers coming back. They're going to have the size back. They're going to have the ability to chuck the ball into the paint and hopefully draw this defense in. So those are my 2 takeaways from the first half that are going to be keys for an Aces victory.
Those were 2 very good points. I would say to counter that, you said to keep with the defense, right? I completely agree, but I bet the coach is in there telling them, hey, you got to start being smarter with how you're playing defense because we can't afford any more fouls. So you might see some better shots for the Castle girls because the Lady Aces are going to try to tone down a little bit so they don't keep getting fouls called on them.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point there, Ethan. And I think that's something that is just a 2-sided coin, or if that's the phrase. I'm kind of blanking on it right now, Ethan. But you play such physical defense, you're going to pick up fouls when you play a crew that calls it a lot tighter. It's also first game of the year. This is one where all you've had is scrimmage time. You play such different defense when you're playing in practice versus when you're playing in game. It's going to be tighter. It's going to be more physical. And it's going to cause some problems and create early foul trouble for the Aces.
For sure.
But, Ethan, I think that's going to conclude our halftime show sponsored by Keepus Funeral Home. They're located on 1500 North Cherry Street. With that, from the Wabash General Hospital broadcasting booth, this is Mount Carmel Basketball. Be back in a minute.
At Wabash General Hospital, we're more than healthcare. We are part of the team. Our athletic trainers proudly serve 13 area high schools and 3 junior colleges, standing on the sidelines and in the AT rooms every day. From keeping our athletes healthy to helping them chase their dreams, we're here for every student athlete, every game, every step of the way, from injury to return to play. At Wabash General Hospital, caring for athletes is our game.
Introducing the Student Plus account from First National Bank, a free checking account designed for students and parents alike. With Student Plus, parents stay in control with real-time alerts and spending limits, while students learn to manage money safely and independently. Instant transfers, lost card protection, and customizable features make banking simple for the whole family. Getting started is easy. Just visit any First National Bank of Allendale branch with your student, set up mobile banking, and choose the features that work best for you. Student Plus accounts with First National Bank. Parents choose the controls, students learn responsibility.
Here we are back for the second half of action here at the Hilltop. We're about to get it going. 42 seconds left at halftime. If you weren't here for our halftime show, me and Ethan talked a little bit about the foul issues, the turnover issues, and how we've had all these problems and the Aces have stayed in it. They have actually kept it tied. They've had leads at point, and really, they've had nothing for Macy Randall. It's not anything that we're trying to be rude up here, but she has had a hard time getting going. She had a couple turnovers to start the game, and now she's really having to work back and get some of those looks that she was struggling to get in the first half.
And it definitely hurts that she can never get in her groove because, like you said, she's gotten foul trouble, so she could never fully get in the groove. And, I mean, we saw it. Every time she touched the ball, she had 3 girls sprinting at her to hack at that ball.
And I'll tell you this, they scouted the Aces well. They knew who to take away. You got to make it hard for Hershey to dribble. Got to make it where Hershey cannot take care of the ball. And then you got to stop Macy Randall from scoring in the post.
Hershey's had herself a game. That second quarter was really good for the Aces. They needed that.
Once again, 7 points in that second quarter for Riley Hershey. She actually had 7 straight, which got them to 15, and that was ended by Olivia Peach's three-pointer there in the end of the half. Bringing up the floor is going to be Mitchell for the Castle Knights. They're heading from left to right. Over to Polis. Polis going to look for Scott on the back door. Great pass. She can't get it up. Back out to... Sorry, she misses. That's going to be an air ball. Mitchell gets it over to Randall. Randall, she's looking. Throws it over to Sellers. Sellers up the left side. Sellers met by Mitchell. She's looking to get the ball to Dunlap. Dunlap down to the paint to Randall. Randall puts it up. She can't get to go, but she is fouled. That's going to be the second foul on number 14, Jordan Polis.
These free throws are good for Randall. Maybe she can get her shot down and get into a groove.
And maybe she can start to feel it early and hopefully bring some looks for the Aces.
Yes.
First one's up. That's going to be good for Macy Randall. She's going to have her first points of the game, and she's going to get the Lady Aces the first lead of the second half. Randall makes the second one. That's going to make it 20-18. Aces lead. Scott finally going to get an open look, and she makes it. She now has her first points to tie it up 20-20. Hershey with the ball. Skips it over to Sellers. Sellers has it. Randall cuts it, flashes up to the high post, middle left of the lane. Over to Hershey. Hershey, one dribble. Stops. Puts up the jumper. That's in. Hershey now has 9. That's going to make it the lead, 22-20. Castle trying to run with it. Scott has it. She gets a screen. Looks up. Can't get anything. Puts up the jumper. Misses that. Rebound Randall. Randall looking to push it up the floor. Throws it up to Hershey. Hershey dribbles, stops, pops the mid-range. That's good. Hershey is the first ace to get to double digits. That's going to make it 24-20, Aces lead. Mitchell brings it up the floor. She's going to be met by Hershey. Hershey waiting. Over to Grant. Grant over to Klonock. Klonock over to Polis. Polis down to Grant. Grant looking for somebody. Can't do anything with it. Gets out to Polis. She puts up a 3, and that is cash. Wow, that makes it 23-24. Aces lead. Sellers up to Randall. Randall one dribble back to Mann. Mann fighting the pressure over to Hershey. Hershey one dribble. Step back over to Mann. Mann back to Hershey on the middle of the floor. She's guarded by Mitchell. Hershey looking for somebody. Gets it over to Randall on the right wing. Gets Sellers on the back door. She puts up the layup. It's good. Aces up 26-23. Sellers with her first 2 points. Mitchell bringing up the floor. Back over to Scott. Scott guarded by Mann. Scott going to get the screen from Polis. One dribble, stops, brings it back outside the perimeter. Polis dribbles, drives in on Randall. Back out to Grant. Grant over to Polis. Polis puts up the 3. That's an air ball. That's going to go down to Grant, though. She's going to put it up, misses. Rebound Hershey, taken away by Grant. She's going to put it up the 3rd time, misses that. Scott finally has the rebound, and she pulls it out. She's going to try and work on Mann. She dribbles in, gets in, puts it up, misses. Rebound down Hershey. Hershey going to try and push it up the floor. Dribbling up the left side. She's looking. She dribbles up, pops that mid-range she likes. She cashes that one again. You cannot stop Riley Hershey. 28-23. Aces lead. Mitchell bringing up the floor. Hershey to meet her. Mitchell swings it over to Polis. Polis has it back over to Grant. Grant guarded by Dunlap. They're going to try to get Scott cutting, get it over to Clinic. She's going to put it up. She banks in the 3. The bank is open on this late Thursday night. Over to Hershey. It's 28-26 with just under 5 to play. Hershey brings up the right side, met by a trap. She's going to try to beat the trap with the dribble. She does. Gets it over to Sellers. Sellers steps into a 3. That's off. Rebound Randall. She puts it up. No good. Grabs it back. She's going to put it back up and good. Randall with a couple rebounds there and gets her second basket of the night. Now has it. That's going to be Mitchell. Mitchell back over to Scott. Scott back to Mitchell. Mitchell looking for something. Mitchell still scoreless in tonight's game. Over to Clinic. Clinic just banked in a 3. Polis has it. She's out there deep. Over to Grant. Grant now to Clinic. Clinic guarded by Sellers in the corner. Screen from Polis. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell has it. Dribbles. Back over to Polis. Polis shot fake. Drives on Randall. She's going to put it up. That's short. Rebound Hershey. Hershey up the right side. Tries to put it behind her back and is fouled by Peyton Mitchell. That's going to be her first foul of the game and the second foul for the Knights in this second quarter. We're going to see a sub. It's going to be Olivia Peach for Madeline Mann. They're going to switch out Mann and Peach a lot, I think, because they're the primary defenders of Scott, who have done such a good job, and she is somebody that it seems like they've tried to go to a lot. Hershey's going to bring it up this right side. Over to Randall. Randall has it out top. Gets it over to Dunlap at the top of the key. Hershey tries to force it down to Randall. It's tipped out of bounds. I love that play, though, Ethan.
Yeah, that's what you were talking about during the halftime show.
Now, Peach is going to be the one to trigger it in. Aces in a box set, met by the 2-3 from the Knights. Screen for Sellers. Sellers gets it over to Hershey. That's almost picked off by Mitchell. Over to Peach. Peach looking over, back up to Hershey. They're going to pick off the entry pass. Scott's going to be driving down the floor. Hershey going to try to stop that one. She fouls Scott as she's now going to get 2 at the line. Hershey picks up her third foul, and she is the last ace that you want to see foul out tonight.
Yeah, they need her on the court.
But the Tim Phillips J Investment scoreboard does read 30-26 in favor of the Aces with 3:37 left in this third quarter. There's some screaming going from the fans section as Scott's going to miss that.
Scott's had a frustrating night. They've been all over.
Randall's going to come in for Dunlap. They're just going to try to rotate and speed it up. And really, this team has not went past their 6th player. So if you're just going to speed them up, tire them out. Scott puts up another one. She's going to make that one. She's going to get her third point of the game and make it 27-30. Hershey up the middle of the floor, gets a screen from Randall. She's looking on the left side. Going to keep it on the left side. She's fouled by Mitchell. Mitchell playing some physical defense with Hershey now. Looks like it's going to be Sellers to inbound. Sellers looking for the lob pass to Randall, but Hershey gets it now in the inbound. She's still guarded by Mitchell. Over to Peach on the right side. Peach up to Hershey. Hershey looking for something, looks to McCarty for the play. Swings it over to Randall. Randall guarded by Clinic. Down to her sister, and that's going to be Macy Randall is going to start feasting in the post. She now has 6. Going to be Mitchell on the left side. Mitchell over to Clinic. Clinic looking for somebody guarded by Sellers. Mitchell travels on the shot fake. That is another turnover for this Castle squad. Sorry, I thought the official was about to call a technical as the ball was kind of zipped out of bounds there, Ethan.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised.
He got the hands ready.
Yeah.
He had that whistle ready. I was ready to see one.
Yeah, me too.
Hershey's going to bring it up the middle of the floor, now to the left side. Got the Randall sisters stacked. They're going to send a screen for Macy. Now Zoe. Scott's on her now. Scott with some heavy defense. They're going to keep throwing pressure at Hershey, and they're going to get a foul on, Jaden Scott. That's going to be her first.
This is starting to get pretty physical. You can tell by the girls' faces.
It's getting very physical.
Yes.
Randall throws it to Hershey on the cut. Hershey, fadeaway jumper. That's off, but that's going to be rebound out of bounds on the Knights. That's Ace's ball. Now, Clinic's going to be subbed out for Young, and she's going to get her first look of the second half with 2:30 left in the third. Hershey looking for somebody, just has to inbound it to Randall. Does that mean Zoe Randall? Zoe Randall misses, rebound Scott. Scott pushing up the floor. She's going to get it over to Grant. She's going to put up the 3. That's off. Rebound Sellers. Sellers chucks it up to Hershey. Hershey pushing. She's met by Scott behind the back. Stops and pops that mid-range. And I knew it was cash, Ethan. I knew it was cash.
Wow, this is awesome.
Hershey has 8 all in this third quarter, and that's a timeout from the Castle Knights. Aces up 34-27. We're going to head to a break from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
Introducing the Student Plus account from First National Bank, a free checking account designed for students and parents alike. With Student Plus, parents stay in control with real-time alerts and spending limits, while students learn to manage money safely and independently. Instant transfers, lost card protection, and customizable features make banking simple for the whole family. Getting started is easy. Just visit any First National Bank of Allendale branch with your student, set up mobile banking, and choose the features that work best for you. Student Plus accounts with First National Bank. Parents choose the controls, students learn responsibility.
We're here back from timeout as the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 34-27 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on the in the third quarter. This third quarter has been punctuated by a aces run I couldn't have predicted. Riley Hershey has 8, Macy Randall has 6. The two-headed monster came to play in this second half.
You couldn't ask to come out better in halftime. I mean, the coach is probably very happy right now, I'd say.
Mitchell on the middle of the floor, met by Hershey, over to Young. Young looking for somebody, back over to Paulus. Paulus looking for Scott on the cut. She's met by Randall, back over to Grant. Grant guarded by Peach. Scott going to drive on Randall. She's going to throw it up, no good, but she's fouled on the shot. She's 1 for 2 from the line today, looking to try to make it 2 for 3. 3 for 4. Math didn't work there, Ethan.
If you're getting guarded by the Peach girl, you might as well just pass the ball as soon as you get it, because she's all over you.
Give it to Olivia Peach. I thought she was just a shooter from last year. She has stepped up her defensive game and is going to be a very valuable six-man for the Aces.
For sure.
That's going to be the first one for Scott. She now has 4, all in this third quarter. Now checking in is going to be Tinsley Dunlap. She checks in for Evie Sellers. Dunlap had 5 in that first quarter, is scoreless since. Second one's up and in for Scott. Looks like they're going to lay off on the pressure as Hershey brings up the right side. Hershey dribbling. Gets a screen from Randall over here on the left side. She's guarded heavily by Mitchell with some fancy dribble moves. Puts it up, misses, but she's fouled.
We can't say enough about what Hershey's doing for the Lady Aces right now.
I'll tell you this. After watching last year, I knew just how good Riley Hershey was, but I did not know that Riley Hershey was going to go on a run where she has 15 through 2 quarters.
Very impressive.
And Peyton Mitchell, I forgot to mention, she now has 3 fouls, and Lenny Clinic is going to come in for her. Hershey did make the first one to make it 35-29. She's going to miss the second, but Randall with the rebound. She goes back up, and that is all Macy Randall to get her 8th point of the night.
She's a monster down low.
Clinic to bring it up. She gets it over to Young. She's guarded by Hershey. Young looking for somebody, can't get anything. Over to Polis. Polis looking for Scott on the cut, and she has to clear it out to Clinic. Clinic almost loses it to Hershey. Hershey now going to match up on Scott. Never mind. Scott gets it over to Polis. Polis back out to Clinic. Scott now has it guarded by Peach. It looks like Polis going to work in the lane. She kicks it out to Grant. Grant in and out, misses that one. That's going to be, never mind. Hershey saves it. That's not out of bounds on the Aces, but Randall travels. She was looking for the pass up the floor. She likes that outlet pass, but she just drags that back foot.
Good decision, just dragged it. She was in a tough spot, too.
Now, looks like Grant's going to be the one to trigger it in. The Aces have to watch for her to throw it in and then come back out to the corner for a quick 3. Cuts through. Looks like they're getting to Scott. Scott has it. She's going to drive. Met by Randall. Oh my gosh, that's a tough bucket from Scott. She may come alive in this second half.
She's starting to look more comfortable with the ball in her hands.
Hershey has it. She's met by a trap. Throws it over to Randall. Macy Randall has it. Looking for somebody. Keeps it high. She now dribbles into a trap. She's trying to get the ball to somebody. Grant throws Olivia Peach to the ground. That's going to be a charge, and it's going to make it Aces basketball.
I mean, she got thrown to the ground.
When you're just running full speed into somebody and they go flying like that, I think anybody's going to call a charge.
Yeah.
Hershey going to bring it up the floor. She's looking for somebody, anybody. She's trapped. Gets it over to Zoe Randall. It goes in and out of her hands. She throws it up to her sister, Macy. Macy tries to skip it across the court, throws it back to Scott. Scott dribbling up the floor. Over to Polis. She stops, tries to get to somebody, throws it down to Young. Young puts up a layup. She gets it for her first points of the game. Scott misses that one. Scott gets the ball, and she gets an and one. This Castle team is not going to go away quietly. And just like we said, Scott is tough. Scott to put up the first of two. Or no, I'm sorry, the one of one. That was an and one. She knocks that one down. She has went on a scoring frenzy here in this third quarter. Dunlap has it. Looking for somebody, anybody. Dribbles it up the floor. Gets it over to Peach. Peach has the ball, tries to get to somebody, throws it along the baseline to Zoe Randall. That's going to be out of bounds as it's now 36-37 with 2 seconds left here in the third quarter.
The Aces have to slow this game down.
Inbound to Grant. Grant's going to let it fly from half court. She almost makes that one. That's going to make it where the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 37-36 as we head into some fourth quarter action from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
Get your new Ford at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a new Ford F-150 up to $6,500 off MSRP. Or a Bronco for $499 for 36-month lease. Find your new vehicle at SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
Steve Faulkner Automotive in Mount Carmel, Illinois has an outstanding service department. With free pickup and delivery, we'll make sure your vehicle runs perfectly at an affordable price. Come see us today or view our service specials at SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
And here we are back for some fourth quarter action as the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 8 minutes left. 37-36, Aces lead. I think it's going to be not Aces ball here starting out the fourth quarter, and it's a close one. This place is packed, Ethan.
Yes.
And it's going to be a fun finish to a fun night of basketball.
Like that they switched Scott where she's fully guarding Riley Hershey now. She is pressing her everywhere she goes.
They do have, looks like Dunlap's going to drive. They're going to call a charge on Tinley Dunlap as she lowered that shoulder.
Yes, she did.
That's going to be another foul on the Aces as it's now going to be Knight's ball. That is Tinley Dunlap's fourth, and that's probably going to be an end of her action for at least a little while. Zoe Randall now comes back in. Mitchell brings it up. She's going to be met by Hershey. Brings up the middle of the floor. Polis gets it on the left wing. Polis over to Scott. Scott guarded by Peach. She's going to drive in. She throws one up. They're going to call a foul, and I think that's going to be on Peach. That should be her first foul. Scott at the line. First one's good. Never mind, no good. Sorry, I saw it hit the... I thought it went in, it just rolled right back out. That's my fault. Setting up for the second one. Second one's up and good. Hershey going to bring it up. Still in this 1-2-2 press. Randall in the middle. Back over to Hershey. Hershey, one dribble. Stops. Steps back for three. No good. That's going to be rebound Young. Young over to Grant. Grant looking for somebody as she's running the floor. All tied up at 37. Back over to Polis. Polis for three. Bang. That's going to make it 40-37. Castle gets their first lead of the second half. Hershey to bring it up. She's going to be met by the trap. Skips it over to Peach. Peach back over to Hershey. Hershey, one dribble. Up to Randall. Randall fouled. She's going to have 2 at the line.
They need to get back to that offense. They were rolling when they were getting her going down well.
And once they start working off of Randall, Hershey's going to get more looks back outside. Randall's going to set up for the first of 2. Makes the first one. That gives her 9 points on the night and cuts the lead to 2. Sellers comes in for Zoe Randall. As it's going to be Sellers, Man, Randall, Hershey, and Peach on the floor. Randall misses the second one. That's a rebound down to Mitchell. Stays 38-40. Mitchell bringing it up. Hershey guarding her closely. She's going to try to dribble. She almost loses it to Hershey. Hershey doing a good job on the defensive end of the ball. Back over to Scott. Scott now has it on the right side, guarded by Peach. She's one dribble, step back, met by Randall. She's got Randall switched on her, and I think that's the look that they want. That's Mitchell now on the left side. Back over to Grant. Grant gets it to Polis down low. Mitchell, shot fake, drives in, back over to Polis. They're going to call a foul on Macy Randall. Polis is now going to get 2 at the line. She's been the leading scorer so far for this Castle Knights squad. That's going to be the first one for Paulus. She drains it. Now 41-38, Knights lead. Now coming in is going to be Clinic for Young. That's going to be the second one. Going to make it 42-38 for one of the biggest leads of the game so far. Randall goes up and grabs that one, misses the layup. That's going to be out of bounds on Madeline Mahan as she's thrown out of bounds. Grant now to inbound it to Mitchell. 42-38 with 6 minutes left on the clock. Mitchell bringing it up the middle of the floor. Over to Clinic. Clinic looking for Scott. Scott gets it. She's going to try to drive. Back over to Polis. Polis drives in, kicks out to Grant. Grant, 2 dribbles in and puts up the mid-range. That's off the glass. That's now down to Randall. Randall's going to get the foul as Jaden Scott is going to pick up her second foul of the game. Hershey to bring it up the left side, over to Sellers. Sellers over to Mann. Back over to Sellers. Sellers up to Hershey. Hershey, 1 dribble, skips it over to Mann. Mann now has it on the right side. She now has a trap sent at her. They're going to give a timeout to Coach Matt McCarty. That's going to be the first Country Financial Agent Tia Morgan timeout of this 4th quarter with 5:40 left on the clock. So from the Wabash Valley General Hospital broadcast booth, this is Mount Carmel basketball.
One of the things we want all of our customers to make sure of is that if you do install a generator, make sure that you have a properly functioning transfer switch. And a transfer switch will make sure that the generator is disconnected from utility service, and that protects your equipment and also protects all of our crews working on the line. If a generator is not hooked up correctly, it can send power back through that transformer, and then it can be high voltage in a dangerous situation.
And we're back with some fourth quarter action as the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads 42-38 with 5:40 left on the clock in favor of the Castle Knights. The Aces have had a hard fourth quarters. They've only scored 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, the Castle girls have almost took Riley Hershey out of the game this fourth quarter so far.
And the Aces get it over to Sellers. Sellers, 2 dribbles over to Hershey. Hershey dribbling around the key. She gets a screen from Sellers. Hershey gonna try to drive. Gets it down to Randall. Randall dribbles it off her foot. That's gonna be Castle ball. Castle brings it down the floor. That's out to Scott in the corner. She's gonna put up a 3. Cash. Jaden Scott knocks down a 3 to make it 45-38. Castle lead. Now over to Sellers. Sellers back over to Hershey. It's tipped by Scott. Hershey has the ball. She takes a couple dribbles, throws it down to Randall. Randall trying to get to somebody. They're going to call a travel on her. Now to inbound, it's going to be Grant. She throws it into Mitchell. It's 45-38 with only 5 minutes left. Mitchell over to Clinic over to Scott. Scott on the left side. Over to Polis on the left still. Back up to Grant on the middle of the key. Puts up a 3. That's money. This lead now gets to double digits for the Castle Knights. Randall, 1 dribble, puts it up. She's fouled. She's going to have 2 at the line. Try to stop the bleeding. And Ethan, it was Grant that hit that 3, correct?
Correct.
I'm pretty sure it was.
It was, yeah.
22.
Yeah, yep.
Randall knocks down the first one. She now gets herself into double-digit scoring.
How many 3s does Grant have on the night now?
Grant has made 4 3s. That was what looks to be 12 of her 14 points. Randall knocks down the second one. That makes it 40-48. Mitchell bringing up the left side. She's met by Hershey. Over to Grant. Grant dribbling around. Gets it over to Scott. Scott looking for 3. That's up. That's off. Rebound down to Randall. Randall going to give it off to Hershey. Hershey guarded closely by Mitchell. Hershey trying to avoid the trap. Brings it up. Puts it in a bad spot. Gets it down to Randall. Randall over to Peach. Peach for 3. That's out. That's rebound down to Grant. They're going to slow it down. Grant bringing it up the floor. That's going to be a Castle timeout. It's just going to be a 30. We're going to be back from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
It's Christmas Uptown in Mount Carmel, Illinois on Friday, December 5th from 4 to 9 p.m. See Comet, a real live reindeer. Enjoy carriage, train, and Rudolph rides, or take the City Lights trolley tour. Visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus. All attractions are free. A dozen food trucks and over 30 vendors on the street. Visit us on Facebook or download the Christmas Uptown app at christmasuptown.com.
And here we are. We're back with some Mount Carmel basketball from the Hilltop. There's 4 minutes left on the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard, and it reads 48-40 Castle lead. Ethan, what have you noticed so far in this fourth quarter?
The Castle girls are playing really fast. They are flying everywhere, and just about everything they're shooting is going in right now. So,
ball's into Mitchell. Mitchell guarded by Hershey. Hershey going to pressure. She's going to stop on a dime. Gets it over to Clinic. Clinic trying to get to Scott. Scott guarded closely by Peach. They're going to call foul on Olivia Peach. Matt McCarty calling for his girls to get up on the defensive end. They're going to pressure like crazy. That's up to Mitchell. Mitchell driving on Hershey. She's working on the right side, trying to get something. Almost loses her dribble, comes back to get it. Dunlap on Clinic. Clinic dribbling around the key. Tries to get it up to Scott. Scott gets it. Back over to Clinic in the corner. 1 dribble. Puts up the mid-range jumper. That's off a rebound Grant. Grant gets it over to Mitchell. Mitchell looking for something. Mitchell over to Quinnick. Quinnick dribbling around, gets it down to Young. Young puts up a 3. That's off. Rebound down to Young, but she steps on the line. I meant to say, Ethan, on the floor for the Lady Aces is going to be Macy Randall, Madeline Mann, Tinley Dunlap, Olivia Peach, and Riley Hershey. On the floor for the Knights is Jaden Scott. That looks to be Lenny Klinick. Number 10, Peyton Mitchell. Number 22, Isabel Grant. And number 21, Alyssa Young. Randall has it. She puts it up. She's fouled. She's going to have another trip to the line. She's got 11 points so far for the Aces, trying to add to that.
These are pretty big free throws.
These are big-time free throws. Only 3 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock. 48-40, Castle leads. Randall's going to knock down the first. She's been very efficient from the line. Now, Polis is going to come back in for Young. That's going to be in and out. Mitchell is going to bring it up the right side. Mitchell tries to skip it over. That's going to be hit out of bounds by Tinley Dunlap. Once again, 41-48, Aces down by 7 here with just over 3 minutes left on the clock. Mitchell to trigger it in. Mitchell clears it out to Grant. Grant guarded by Mann. Grant dribbling around. Grant drives down the middle of the lane, kicks out to Polis. Polis over to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Scott. Scott back over to Polis. Polis trying to figure something out. She's going to drive on Randall. They're going to call a travel on Jordan Polis. Subbing in now is Evie Sellers for, looks to be Madeline Mann. They're going to put in some three-point shooting with Evie Sellers. Hershey has it guarded by Mitchell. She gets a screen from Randall. She's going to use it and pop a 3. That's off, but rebound Dunlap. Dunlap goes back up. That's good. Tinley Dunlap gets her first 2 points in the second half in a big-time way. 43-48 with just under 2.5. Mitchell bringing up the right side. She's looking for something. Gets it over to Grant. Grant guarded by Dunlap. Grant has it. She's guarded closely by Dunlap. She's looking for somebody. Guarded very well by Dunlap. Dunlap getting up. Mitchell guarded by Hershey. Mitchell driving down the lane. Gets it out to Quinnick. Quinnick guarded by Sellers. Quinnick dribbling around. Tries to chuck it. That's out of bounds. That's Ace's ball.
Great defense right there. Wow.
Big turnover. That leaves it 48-43 still with 2 minutes left. Sellers is going to be the one to inbound it to Hershey, as Hershey's going to go try to make something happen on the offensive end. Hershey to bring it up the floor. She's met by Mitchell on the left side. She's going to get a screen from Macy Randall. Randall sets the screen, heading to the right side. She's going to take a couple dribbles, gets inside, back out to Peach. Peach for 3. Off the front iron, but Randall goes up. That's good. That makes it 45-48. Aces bring it back to within 3. Mitchell trigger it in. She throws out to Grant. Grant's going to be guarded by Dunlap. She's going to meet her at half court. Minute and a half left now. Grant guarded by Dunlap closely. Over to Quinnick. Quinnick guarded by Sellers. She's going to try to get it to Polk. Polk cuts. Back over to Mitchell. Mitchell cutting around. She throws it. Peach pisses it off. Peach bringing it out the floor. She's going to have a wide open layup, and she misses it. That's going to be a foul on Mitchell.
Peach has a bloody
And I think Peach has just bloodied her nose. She went head-to-head with Mitchell. Well, with a minute 20, it's 48-45, and Mitchell has busted up her head. Or I hope that's just blood from Peach's nose. I know it's not the right way to think, but I'm not sure what that blood's from, if she has cut her head open good or if that's just blood from her nose. They're going to clean up the blood on the floor. We're going to have just a little break with a minute 20. And I will mention that they are going to get 2 free throws, and they're going to have to pick a shooter for Mitchell, as I'm thinking she might be done. unless that's just blood from Peach's nose. But while they're cleaning that up, we're going to take a quick 30-second break from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
As a faculty member, Wabash Valley College was the best decision ever. I've always been excited to return back to Wabash Valley as an employee to inspire students the way I was inspired when I went to school here. And what I love is the sense of community that I have with my coworkers and being able to provide that to our students.
And here we are. We're back for some fourth quarter action from the Hilltop. The Tim Phillips Jade Investment scoreboard reads 48-45 with just a minute 20 left. Number 10, Peyton Mitchell, was fouled, and she has bloodied up her forehead, or she has just hit her head hard. I'm not sure if it was her blood or Olivia Peach's. That's going to be a miss in the first free throw from Alyssa Young, who's the designated shooter. Coming in for Peach, I think, was Madeline Mann, as she has gotten a bloody nose. Never mind, I think it was just blood from Peach's nose, and Mitchell is okay. She's gonna knock down the second one. That's gonna make it 49-45 to extend the lead to 4. Hershey looking for a screen from Randall. Gets a screen from Mann now. Switched on to by Scott. Down to Sellers in the corner. Back out to Randall. Randall, one dribble. Looking for somebody. She's gonna put it up. That misses just barely, but she's gonna get a look for 2 from the line. 45-49 with just over a minute. Now checking in is Peyton Mitchell. She's going to come in for Polis, who just fouled out. I should have done a better job of tracking their fouls, Ethan, because I had no clue she was close. Randall swishes the first one. It's going to make it 46-49. Oh, and look at this. Olivia Peach back in after bloodying her nose. She's going to try and bring a spark to this Aces squad. Randall swishes the second one. That's going to make it just a 2-point ball game here, 47-49 with a minute left. Mitchell up the left side. Mitchell's going to drive all the way down the lane. Kicks it out to Young. Young, one dribble, brings it back out. Gets it to Mitchell in the corner. They're going to call a timeout. That's going to be another Country Financial agent TM Morgan timeout by these Castle Knights. We're going to be back from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. This is Mount Carmel basketball.
At Wabash General Hospital, we're more than healthcare. We are part of the team. Our athletic trainers proudly serve 13 area high schools and 3 junior colleges, standing on the sidelines and in the AT rooms every day. From keeping our athletes healthy to helping them chase their dreams, we're here for every student athlete, every game, every step of the way, from injury to return to play. At Wabash General Hospital, caring for athletes is our game.
At First National Bank of Allendale, we know that winning starts with the right support on and off the playing field. That's why our local lenders make tailored, local decisions so you can score big on your goals. With branches across your community, we're here to help with everything from home loans to business growth. Because when it comes to your future, local lending is a true team effort. First National Bank of Allendale, local lenders, local decisions.
Here we are, we're back. With under a minute, the Aces have brought it back to within 2. 47-49 as the Tim Phillips of Jade Investment scoreboard reads, and it is Castle ball on the baseline. They're going to try to trigger it into Scott. They don't get that look. They just clear it out to her. Scott going to dribble it around. She's guarded by Mann. Mann has 4 fouls. She can't foul again. Mann trying to guard Scott, getting physical. Dunlap runs around. She has 4 too. Dunlap, they send a trap. Scott flails her head, gets the 5th one on Dunlap. That's going to be the end of Tinley Dunlap's night as she ends the night with 7 points.
Had to do that. Can't let her keep running around. That was a good foul. Just unfortunate.
Got to take that foul, and she's missed some so far today. Now coming in for her is going to be Evie Sellers. She's going to knock down the first to extend this lead to 3 with 45 seconds left on the clock. Second one's cash. That's going to make it 51-48. Sorry, 47. They're going to call another foul. I think that's going to be on Olivia Peach this time. That's going to send Scott back to the line. She's going to try to extend this lead by a little bit more as the Aces have had to start some late fouling. Misses the first one. Once again, 33 seconds left on the clock. Aces need a miss here. That's going to be cash from Scott. She makes it now a 5-point lead. Hershey drives. She puts it up. She makes that one. That's going to be her first of the fourth quarter. It's 49-52. Scott skips it over to Mitchell. Mitchell has the ball. She's now fouled by Hershey. That's going to be her 5th. Never mind, only her 3rd. Sorry. Now Mitchell is going to be at the line for the first time tonight, and you can't ask for a better situation to be at the line for the first time. Misses the first one. Going to put up the second. She's going to swish that one. That's going to extend this lead back up to 4. 53-49. Hershey has it. Dribbling. She's looking for a shot. Going to get a screen from Mann. Puts up the 3. Off the backboard. That's going to be rebound down to Scott. That's going to be another foul on Olivia Peach. And Scott's going back to the line. Scott at the line. She's going to try to extend this lead a little bit. She's going to knock that one down. Scott has came alive in this second half.
Yes, she has.
She's got 18 all in these last 2 quarters. She's going to knock it down. That's going to extend this lead to 6. As Hershey's going to bring it up the floor. She's going to try to get a quick shot. Can't, gets to the rim, puts it up. She's going to knock it down. That gives her 20. And your final here from the Hilltop, going to be 55-51. Aces fall in their home opener to the Castle Knights. We're going to be back from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth with the coaches post-game show brought to you by Sean Morgan, Republican candidate for Wabash County Clerk, and hopefully an interview with Coach Matt McCarty. So once again from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth, this is Mount Carmel basketball.
I, Ebenezer Scrooge, can't say bah humbug to a Christmas carol. Please, come and see it yourself.
Wabash Valley College and the Wabash Valley Arts Council present A Christmas Carol, a community theater production, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, November 20th, 21st, and 23rd in the Brubeck Arts Center. Call for tickets at 618-263-5164 or scan the code on your screen.
Prices are falling at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get up to $9,400 off a new Jeep Wrangler or a Ram 1500 with 0% financing and no pay for 90 days. Come in today or go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com. Your best deals are at Steve Faulkner Automotive. Get a Pacifica with $6,200 off MSRP or lease a Durango for $474 a month. See them for details and go to SteveFaulknerAutomotive.com.
811, if you're not familiar with that, it's a Julie program in the state of Illinois. It's actually nationwide, but that's a free service. The utilities take care of that. Customer wanting to dig or plant flowers or fence posts or something like that, call that service, give us 2 business days, that's the law, 2 business days notice. We'll come out and we'll locate all the underground utilities in your area and make sure that you know where you're able to dig and you can dig safely, and we're protected and you're protected that way.
It's Christmas Uptown in Mount Carmel, Illinois on Friday, December 5th from 4 to 9 p.m. See Comet, a real live reindeer. Enjoy carriage, train, and Rudolph rides, or take the City Lights trolley tour. Visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus. All attractions are free. A dozen food trucks and over 30 vendors on the street. Visit us on Facebook or download the Christmas Uptown app at christmasuptown.com.
I chose Wabash Valley College because I didn't really know what I wanted to do right after high school, and today I can say it was the best decision that I could have made. When I was here, I had the chance to join different clubs and to take a couple different classes, and I really expanded on my interests. In my classes, I learned what I liked and I learned what I didn't like. So I did get to meet new friends. I joined a bunch of clubs, practiced some leadership skills, and kind of gradually grew into adulthood here, and so I'm very grateful for that. My name is Jonathan Leach. I graduated in 2013 from Wabash Valley College, and that's why this was the best decision for me.
At Wabash General Hospital, we're more than healthcare. We are part of the team. Our athletic trainers proudly serve 13 area high schools and 3 junior colleges, standing on the sidelines and in the AT rooms every day. From keeping our athletes healthy to helping them chase their dreams, we're here for every student athlete, every game, every step of the way, from injury to return to play. At Wabash General Hospital, caring for athletes is our game.
At First National Bank of Allendale, we know that winning starts with the right support on and off the playing field. That's why our local lenders make tailored, local decisions so you can score big on your goals. With branches across your community, we're here to help with everything from home loans to business growth. Because when it comes to your future, local lending is a true team effort. First National Bank of Allendale, local lenders, local decisions.
I, Ebenezer Scrooge, can't say bah humbug to a Christmas carol. Please, come and see it yourself.
Wabash Valley College and the Wabash Valley Arts Council present A Christmas Carol, a community theater production, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, November 20th, 21st, and 23rd in the Brubeck Arts Center. Call for tickets at 618-263-5164 or scan the code on your screen.
And here we are back in the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth. Ethan, it was a very tough loss for the Aces. They fell 55-51 to a very, very good Castle team, and this is a team out of Evansville. They play a lot bigger competition than the Aces do, and this is just the first of this 3-game stretch. It's going to be really tough for the Aces, but I think once they build to the postseason, it's going to be very good for them.
Yeah, hey, like we said at the start, we knew this was going to be a good game. We knew it was going to be a good night of basketball. And if I'm the Lady Aces, hey, it's your first game of the season. You hung with a very good team, like you said. So, I mean, you got stuff to build off of.
Yeah, and I think we can talk a lot about, it was just a lot of early season mistakes is what lost in that game. They had lost the turnover battle. They had way more fouls than their opponent did, and they just had a hard time really finding a set offense. They had spurts where Macy Randall and Riley Hershey got it going, but I feel like neither of them really gave a consistent couple quarters. Hershey probably had the most consistent game tonight. But I think we'll run through some scoring real quick, and we'll come back, talk a little bit more, and hopefully Coach McCarty is up for it to come up here and talk to us a little bit after the game. We'll start with this Castle Knights squad. They start out with Peyton Mitchell. She only had 1. Then next up, Lenny Clinic. She banked in a 3 in the 3rd. Then Alyssa Young had 4. She had 2 per half. Then with 14 was Isabel Grant. She had 4 threes. Then with 15 was Jordan Polis. She had 15. She did a very good job for this Knights team. Then leading them with scoring was Jaden Scott. And if you want to say anything about Scott, all you can say is she was a problem. She had all 20 of those in the second half, got to the line well, was a very hard player for the Aces to defend. Then we'll get to some Aces scoring. Evie Sellers had 2. She had a layup there in the second half. Then next up would be Olivia Peach. She hit 2 threes in that first half. Then next up would be Tinsley Dunlap. She had 7. She had 5 of those, though, in the first quarter, and that's sort of what kept the Aces in it. Then next up, Macy Randall had 16, and honestly, probably a slow night for her. Then Riley Hershey with 20. She was tied for leading all scorers, had a very, very good game. And Ethan, there were multiple points where it didn't feel like she was going to miss.
Yeah, she felt like she was the only one who fully got in her groove offensively. The rest, I mean, you could, like you said earlier, it's the first game of the year. Everything's not going to be perfect, and it showed. But hey, like I said, it can't hang your head because you still played very well against a good opponent.
Yeah, played very well with a lot of early season mistakes against a great team, and you showed glimpses of why everybody here is so confident in this team heading forward.
Yeah.
But here, Coach McCarty's getting ready. We'll have Ethan give over his headset, and I'll get to talk to Coach McCarty after, like I said, a tough game. Coach, I know it's not the outcome you were wanting tonight, but there's so much to build off this first 4 quarters of basketball that your girls have played this year.
Yeah, obviously we're pretty disappointed. We really wanted that one, but like I kind of talked to the girls in the locker room, like we put this game on the schedule for a reason. This has nothing to do with regional seeding. We can still get a top seed. It doesn't affect our conference record at all. This was a game for a challenge to kind of see where we're at early. And I mean, yeah, you kind of hit it on the nail with what you said. Our first game, their 7th game. You could really tell our legs were starting to go there in that 4th quarter, and that happens. And we've only had 2 weeks of practice. Obviously, we still need to get in a little bit better shape. But that first half was phenomenal. We get in foul trouble, and Riley just kind of puts us on her back and plays really well. And Madeline Mann and Olivia Peach, holy cow! Number 11 is a stud for Castle, and they held her to 0 points in the first half. Olivia Peach hit a couple big threes in that first half as well, and there's so many positives there. And yes, that second half you can tell that we're getting a little tired there, and that's going to happen here early in the season.
Yeah, definitely could tell the legs. Like I was telling Ethan, early season turnovers. I've been around it my whole life. The early season turnovers and fouls. You're not used to the physicality from practice transitioning to game. And you said that about Jaden Scott, how well they did defending her. She did have those points in the second half, but a lot of those were from the free throw line. Mm-hmm. She did a great job of getting there, but like you said, I think in all the games that I've watched your girls play from last year to this year, that first half was the best half of defense I have seen them play all year. I was telling Ethan that I don't think you could have coached them any better on how to guard the pick and roll. They did a great job of dropping, helping, and really so much to build on heading into a tough part of your schedule. And I'm guessing you'll want to talk a little bit about those upcoming games.
Yeah, just to kind of go off your point before we move on, it's really all about the culture that we're building here. Like we have girls that are grinders that want to win, and they're upset in the locker room because we didn't win. We're not used to losing, especially after the last 2 seasons that we've kind of had, but it's all right. We've got 2 more tough games coming up, and like I just told them, if we're going to hang around and potentially could have beaten a 4A school out of Indiana that has 2,000 kids in their high school, and we Southern Illinois better watch out, because we can really play this year if we want to.
Yeah, so great first game. Thank you so much for coming up here and talking to us during the coaches post-game show. And
of course,
good luck on the rest of the season. I'm excited to cover and see what these girls can do.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you guys back around this year. Looking forward to talking to you again soon.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
From all of us here at the Hilltop, I'm Max Gerlach here with Ethan Houston. Thank you to Emery and Bennett for running everything behind the scenes here, and thank you to everybody at WSJD that makes this thing work. Once again, from the Wabash General Hospital broadcast booth, this is Mount Carmel basketball. Okay, I'm sorry to bail on you guys. I have to use the bathroom. No, Ethan, you can stay. You can stay.